Shalom, everyone. All right. This is titled Devil Horns or Devil's Horns. On the contrary, while you don't have to debate anyone that gives the counter narrative to an accusation they worship or serve Satan the devil, or why they take pictures or why do they take pictures or photo shoots flashing devil horns, why you can safely ignore any misdirection, attempt at misinformation, dismissal, denial, deflection, typical techniques of a psychopath, outright rejection of truth or the spirit of truth, or rejection of the spread of truth. Irrefutable facts. Surrounding the Holy Bible. Metaphysics, which ties into things like what you feel in your spirit when you're exposed to an image on TV screen or big screen or computer screen. Spiritual discernment, what you feel in your spirit about the energy in another person's spirit. What you feel, what you sense energy-wise within other temples. Again, regarding accusations in the fruit they produce or the display of fruit of the flesh, and the differences between fruit of the spirit and fruit of the flesh. Here are some reasons why you can safely ignore any vain or arrogant attempt at reverse psychology, role reversal, dismissiveness, again, denial, rejection, deflection, etc. Why you can safely bypass another individual's personality disorder, mental disorder, character defects, personality defects, etc. Condescension or narcissism in the laughter. Or condescending tones, narcissistic tones in their laughter. Arrogance or sadism in the tones of their laughter, which is that has nothing, that's not pertaining to the individual. Those references again speak on metaphysics. Those references are to what's inside the person, the temple, the unclean spirits inside the temple. The demon spirits are what's laughing at you. The individual is not laughing at you. The individual possessed, what he or she is possessed by, those unclean spirits are laughing at you, mocking you, etc. Because they've been caught red-handed in a public setting or in an open setting that threatens to disrupt the perceived image built they would rather have others view them as. Your accusations are a direct contradiction to that false image or fictional image they've built. Like, so imagine what you see on TV screen, magazine, big screen, computer screen. Imagine those templates are places of business where you can apply and work. So this will be referring to the workplace image. Variance, black, white, gray. Some have a straightforward workplace image. Some individuals, they show one face to family members. They may or may not show another face to friends. They may or may not show another face to co-workers. They may or may not show another face in secret situations or in certain spots within the game where it cannot come back to haunt them. Like someone on a bus stop or on a bus or a homeless person, they may display a certain face because it can't come back to get them in short term. Regarding like karma, law of karma. Remember, you're up against a fractured, broken, demented mind. One in a perpetual state of psychosis. Laughter, especially with condescension. Superior complex undertones in the vocal cords, etc., is a red flag. Someone is innocent. No, guilty. That some people use as deflection or as a coping mechanism because they've been caught doing something. Anyway, while you can safely ignore outright denials of a particular truth when you know what you know, and you know they know you know what you know. But for maybe like political correctness, gaslighting, reverse gaslighting, that means they're gaslighting themselves. Pandering, etc. They cannot admit it. They cannot admit it openly or publicly. Basically, this is poker. You deconstruct the hand down to the nuts and bolts when the cards first were dealt, and then work your way back to where you are in the action on the flop. Okay, in the action. Okay, in that conversation, in that dialogue, that debate, that topic, or those range of topics where you are in the action. Okay, you work your way back forward. Okay, with this subject, looking at record labels, looking at bad players, bad actors that run record labels, Hollywood studios, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Cause you have to strip the hand down to when the cards first got dealt. You have to start at the beginning. Just 3-4 years maybe after they came out the birth canal of the mother's womb. Or really, you have to figure, solving for why, you have to figure the first open door. Who opened it? How was it opened? What came in through that door? Spiritually, what came in through that door? You have to look at the parental programming. You have to look at the influence of parental programming, for better, for worse. Then as you work your way forward back to the present, you have to look at peer selection. Then you have to look at the levels of influence of peer selection of each peer, the influence each peer had on their life, etc. Sexual perversions with the same sex, sexual perversions, general applications, sexual acts, behaviors with the opposite sex, that 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old mind is not designed to deal with. Social delinquency is not designed to deal with anyway. And then you work your way for it. You continue to work your way for it. Back to where you are in the action anyway. Here we go. Simple questions. Now remember, the topic is devil horns. So context. Okay, context. Keep it in context. Simple questions like, listen to the word, listen. Simple questions like, do they have any friends living in Texas? Any friends that live in southern states that went to school in Texas or currently are in school in Texas? Colleges. Have they themselves ever been a resident in Texas? Why or why not? Do they speak sign language fluently? Why or why not? Listen to the words. And if so, how many years have they spoken sign language fluently? Why or why not? What is the excuse given that led them to pick up this language, like for academia, etc.? Why or why not? Do they have a friend? Or do they know a friend of a friend? Do they have a family member who's deaf mute? Listen to the words. We're breaking down solid poker, so you never get lost in the action. Do they have a friend or a family member who's deaf mute? Are you able to verify this information? If so, have they ever been to any sports games in Texas? Like ticket season holders or something. Die hard Cowboy fans or something, etc. And then from there you would ask about sports memorabilia, sports cards, jerseys, clothing, anything cowboy, whatever excuse they come up with, anything related to that topic, like memorabilia in a home, in a storage facility somewhere, collectibles they've invested lots of money in, etc. Okay, we're breaking down solid poker, so you never get lost in the action. Yeah. Do they have any memorabilia in their possession from those sporting events? Why or why not? Are they diehard fans? Why or why not? If they take that narrative with you, if they take the bait, you just have to follow. If they take the bait on anything, you just have to follow up that narrative, because homicide detectives will back me up. Big facts. They'll back me up. A person can easily get discombobulated trying to come up with lies. The reason why they repeat themselves in that homicide office when they're interrogating, it's not to insult the person's intelligence. Okay, there's a method to the madness. Okay, they're playing poker with the person they're interrogating. A person will fumble over the words. A person will struggle to remember things when they're trying to fabricate a lie, fabricate a narrative. As far as all the actors, all the characters involved in the story, the protagonist, the antagonist, the climax, the intro, the ending, this whole picture of how they explain themselves pertaining to the picture, pertaining to that film, if life is film, they will fumble and trip and be at some point become discombobulated trying to memorize all of these lies that they're trying to freestyle. Basically, they're trying to freestyle because their life is on the line, which comes into play with the stiff, rigid members of the body, because everything is premeditated. Nothing is non-cognitive. All of their members are stiff. They're uncomfortable energy wise. They're consumed maybe by spirit of fear, spirit of sadness, etc. because they're lying. Okay. As opposed to the polar opposite, loose, limber body language, facial expressions, normal breathing patterns, eye movement patterns, no dry throat, the Adam's apple, going up and down, etc. Yeah. Are they die-hard fans? Why or why not? If they take the bait of that narrative, of one of those narratives, that they are indeed die-hard fans of a particular sports team or something related, where they normally do Texas horns, where they do that sign language at in the southern states. Question things that only die-hard fans would know about that particular team or organization. Something that only true fans of that team right now would know, or even care to know, or ever care to know. Do they play sports book, fantasy? No, sports book. Or do they play fantasy football? Can they tell you what happened in last night's game? Can they tell you any of the highlights from last night's game, last weekend's game, etc.? Why or why not? Can they give you their viewpoint, their subjective on the viewpoint of the sports analysts regarding that particular sports team in the current season or prior seasons? Give you their subjective on the subjective of the sports analysts of that particular team from prior seasons. Something they strongly agreed with. A narrative that the analysts took, they strongly disagreed with. Can they give you an outlook or a forecast regarding a particular team for future seasons? Why or why not? See, these are the types of questions that get into the area of high stakes poker. These questions get into the area how to break a person down, how you solve, or how the methods you use, how you go about to solve for why. If a person is telling you the truth or not. If the narrative one presents you is one of the spirit of truth or the spirit of the lie, all praise to the Most High Abba Yah, His Son Jesus Christ, the Christ of Nazareth. Shalom. God bless you.